You think you're just tossing and turning at night. But what if I told you your brain might be fighting for its life while you sleep? A man in his late 60s, retired, healthy, active. No family history of dementia. Yet at 73, he was diagnosed with early-stage Alzheimer's. The doctors were puzzled until his wife mentioned something else. He hadn't slept well for over a decade. Now imagine this. You go to bed, but instead of restoring your body and brain, your mind becomes a battlefield. Silent. Invisible. But deadly over time. That's the truth too few people talk about. And it's costing seniors their memories. Because the latest science is finally confirming what many have feared for years. Poor sleep doesn't just make you tired, it may be one of the strongest predictors of Alzheimer's disease. And here's the terrifying part. The damage starts years before any symptoms appear. In this video, we're going deep into what the newest research says about sleep and Alzheimer's prevention. Not vague advice. Not theories. But real, science-backed discoveries that can help you protect your brain, starting tonight. We'll explore what's happening inside your brain while you sleep, what signs to look out for if you're at risk, and the practical changes seniors can make to strengthen their memory and extend their independence. If you care about keeping your mind sharp after 60, this is a message you cannot afford to miss. Before we go further, I want to take a second to thank you for watching. If you're someone who values elderly wisdom, senior health, and inspiration to live fully every year after 60, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. It helps us continue creating reflections and life lessons from the elderly that truly matter. And tell me in the comments, where are you watching from today? Let's begin with what scientists are calling the brain's cleaning cycle, and why that cycle only happens while you sleep. It's called the glymphatic system. Think of it like a washing machine for your brain. All day long, your brain cells are working, firing, storing memories, processing emotions, and just like any machine, they produce waste. One of the waste products? A protein called beta-amyloid. Now here's the key. Beta-amyloid is normal in small amounts. But when it builds up, it forms plaques, those same sticky, toxic clusters found in the brains of Alzheimer's patients. And guess what clears that waste away? Deep sleep. Not naps. Not light dozing in front of the TV. Real, restorative, slow-wave sleep. In fact, research from the University of Rochester Medical Center found that during deep sleep, brain cells actually shrink, allowing more cerebrospinal fluid to flow through and wash away toxins. It's like your brain pulls back its curtains and says, "All right, time to clean house." But if your sleep is broken, shallow, or too short, that cleaning process doesn't happen properly. The study went further. People who consistently slept less than 6 hours per night showed significantly higher levels of beta-amyloid in their cerebrospinal fluid, even if they felt fine the next day. Let that sink in. You can feel rested. You can still be functioning well. But inside your brain, plaque is quietly building. And over the years, that buildup can harden into damage that can't be reversed. Let me tell you about Helen, a retired schoolteacher from Minnesota. She was the picture of health, exercised daily, never smoked, loved crossword puzzles. But she confessed to her doctor that she hadn't slept more than 4 or 5 hours a night since her 50s. "I just don't need that much sleep," she'd say proudly. But by 71, she started forgetting names. At first, she brushed it off. Then directions. Then entire conversations. When her neurologist ran a PET scan, they found increased beta-amyloid activity in her brain. The heartbreaking part? Her decline might have been slowed if someone had taken her sleep seriously decades ago. This isn't fear-mongering. It's science. A study from the NIH followed over 8,000 adults for 25 years. It found that those who regularly got fewer than 6 hours of sleep in midlife were 30% more likely to develop dementia later on. That's not just a correlation, it's a wake-up call. Now you may be thinking, but I'm in my 60s or 70s now. Is it too late? Absolutely not. Another study published in Nature Neuroscience revealed that improving sleep quality, even in older adults, can significantly lower beta-amyloid buildup. Your brain is resilient. It wants to heal. You just have to give it the right conditions. So what does this mean for you, sitting at home? Maybe wondering why you keep waking up at 3 a.m. or why you feel groggy every morning despite being in bed for 8 hours? It means the way you sleep today might determine whether you'll still recognize your loved ones in 10 years. That's not being dramatic. That's what the evidence now tells us. And yet, millions of seniors still treat poor sleep like it's a harmless annoyance. They shrug it off, reach for another coffee, or worse, rely on sleeping pills that don't promote real deep sleep but only sedate the brain. The good news? Once you understand what healthy sleep really is, and how to rebuild it, your brain can begin clearing toxins again, even in later life. But first, you need to know what's stealing your sleep. Because for most people over 60, it's not just one cause, it's a web of hidden habits, health issues, and misbeliefs that slowly chip away at quality rest. We'll break those down next, including the most common nighttime behaviors that quietly block your brain's detox process. You'll also hear the story of a man who reversed years of sleep loss and saw his memory sharpen again, all by making a few powerful changes at home. And we're just getting started. There's a saying among neurologists, you can't save a brain that doesn't sleep. And for seniors, that truth becomes even more urgent with each passing year. Because when you sleep poorly after 60, it's not just your memory that suffers, it's your entire ability to live independently, to stay emotionally stable, to recognize your loved ones, and to hold on to the life you've built. Let me tell you about Alan. He's 68, lives in Ohio, a retired postal worker. Sharp guy. Loved woodworking, stayed active, kept his blood pressure in check. But he had one problem: he hadn't slept a full night in years. I wake up around 2 a.m. every night like clockwork, he told his doctor. Sometimes I get back to sleep. Sometimes I just lie there, staring. At first, no one worried. Normal aging, they said. But then he started forgetting things, simple ones. Which tool he was holding. What street he was driving down. The name of a neighbor he'd known for 20 years. Scans showed early cortical thinning, an early sign of cognitive decline. But here's the hopeful part: once his sleep was addressed, the decline slowed. His mood improved. His memory steadied. Not because of medication, but because of how powerfully quality sleep supports brain health. So now let's talk about what's quietly stealing that sleep from so many seniors, and what you can do to take it back. First, your circadian rhythm, the internal clock that tells your body when to sleep and wake, isn't broken. It's just confused. After 60, the body produces less melatonin, the sleep hormone. But many seniors make this worse by spending most of their day indoors, away from natural light. Think about your last few days. How often did you sit in front of a window in the morning? Did you get at least 15 minutes of sunlight before noon? Because without that morning light, your brain doesn't get the signal. It's daytime. Let's be alert now, and sleep later. Instead, you end up groggy all day and restless at night. And that confusion increases your risk of developing sleep fragmentation, one of the most dangerous patterns for Alzheimer's risk. In one study published in JAMA Neurology, researchers followed 737 seniors and tracked their sleep patterns for over 6 years. They found that those with fragmented sleep, meaning frequent wake-ups, tossing and turning, shallow rest, were twice as likely to develop Alzheimer's. Not less sleep. Just poorer quality sleep. This is why a full 8 hours in bed doesn't guarantee protection. What matters most is how much deep sleep your brain actually gets. And for that, the way you treat your evening hours matters more than you think. One big mistake? Watching TV or scrolling on a phone right before bed. Those blue lights suppress melatonin for hours, even after you've closed your eyes. You might fall asleep, but your brain stays alert, like a machine left running in the background. The fix? After sunset, switch to warm, amber lighting. Turn off screens 1 hour before bed. And if you need light, use a red night lamp, it's least disruptive to sleep chemistry. Now let's talk about another big thief of brain protective sleep. Nocturia, frequent nighttime urination. If you're over 65 and waking up more than once a night to use the bathroom, your sleep cycle is being interrupted at its most critical stages. And the solution is not as simple as drink less water. Sometimes it's about when you drink. Aim to front-load hydration before 4 p.m. After that, sip only when needed. Another hidden cause? Blood pressure medications taken too late in the day. Many of them act as diuretics and force your body to eliminate fluid during the night. If that's you, talk to your doctor. Adjusting the timing, even by a few hours, can give you uninterrupted, cleansing sleep. And if you're dealing with sleep apnea, you may be waking without realizing it. Sleep apnea causes micro-awakenings, dozens or even hundreds each night, that prevent the brain from reaching deep, restorative stages. These awakenings don't always involve gasping or snoring. Sometimes it's just restlessness, a dry mouth, morning headaches, or feeling tired, even after sleeping all night. In one 2019 study from the Alzheimer's Disease Neuroimaging Initiative, people with untreated sleep apnea showed higher accumulation of tau protein, another Alzheimer's marker, than those without apnea. If someone's told you that you snore loudly, or if you're struggling with fatigue and memory, get a sleep study. It could save your brain. Now you might be wondering, what can I actually do at home to rebuild healthy sleep and reduce Alzheimer's risk? Let's look at some of the most powerful, research-backed strategies. First, create a sleep routine that your brain can rely on. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. This builds consistency in your circadian rhythm. Next, lower the thermostat. The ideal sleep temperature for most seniors is around 65 degrees Fahrenheit. When your core body temperature drops at night, your brain enters deeper stages of sleep faster and stays there longer. Third, introduce a wind-down ritual. This could be a warm shower, 5 minutes of slow breathing, or even listening to soft instrumental music. The key is this: don't just go to bed. Transition. Just like children need bedtime routines to settle down, so do seniors. But instead of lullabies, your body responds to warmth, calm, and predictable rhythm. And there's one more surprising tip, one that's especially effective for seniors struggling with racing thoughts at night. Right before bed. A study from Baylor University found that people who wrote down a quick to-do list or emotional reflection before sleeping fell asleep faster and had fewer nighttime awakenings. Your thoughts don't need to be poetic. Just write what's on your mind. I'm worried about tomorrow's appointment. I hope I remember to call my daughter. I felt proud today when I helped someone at the store. This small act empties mental clutter and gives your brain permission to rest. Because here's what's most important to understand. Your brain is desperate to clean itself. It's just waiting for the chance. And every night you sleep deeply, you give it that chance. You protect memories, reduce inflammation, and strengthen the very connections that make you you. Let me tell you about Eva, 75, from Toronto. For years, she'd been terrified of Alzheimer's. Her mother and 2 uncles had it. She felt like it was a ticking clock in her genes. But after watching a seminar on sleep, she changed her habits. Sunlight walks in the morning. Herbal tea at night. No phone in bed. A strict 10 p.m. lights out policy. 6 months later, her sleep tracker showed longer deep sleep cycles. Her energy improved. She said something else too: I stopped being scared. I started feeling strong again. That's what the right kind of sleep can give back to you, not just memory, but confidence. And it's not too late to start. Because no matter your age, your brain is still listening. It still wants to heal. You just have to give it the silence, the rhythm, and the care it's been asking for. The choice begins tonight. Let's pause for a second and ask something few people ever really consider. What if the best thing you could do for your future is to sleep better tonight? Not read another article. Not download another brain game. Not worry another hour about your family history. But simply give your brain what it's been asking for: deep, restful sleep. Because the latest research has made one thing absolutely clear: your brain can repair itself. But only if you let it. And it's not about perfection. It's about creating consistent, sleep-friendly conditions, day by day, night by night. Let me tell you about George, 77, from Birmingham. Former engineer. Widower. Proud grandfather of 5. After his wife passed, George stopped sleeping. He'd go to bed at 11, lie awake till 3. When he did sleep, he'd wake in a panic. Sweaty. Breathless. Disoriented. His memory started slipping. Not big things, just little ones. But enough to scare him. So his doctor recommended a sleep-focused cognitive program. No pills. No machines. Just a simple plan to rebuild his sleep rhythm. He started dimming the lights after dinner. Journaling every evening. Practicing gratitude out loud in the dark, just before sleep. And perhaps most powerfully, he stopped fearing the night. 6 weeks later, George was sleeping 7 hours straight. And when he returned for a follow-up scan, something surprising happened. His biomarkers hadn't worsened. They'd stabilized. Now, does that mean sleep alone can cure Alzheimer's? No. But does it mean quality sleep can delay decline, sometimes significantly? Absolutely. And for seniors, every year of clarity is priceless. Here's what doctors and researchers now recommend as your core sleep defense plan after 60. Start your morning with light. End your evening with darkness. This is the foundation of circadian health. It resets your sleep-wake cycle every day. Open the curtains. Step outside. Sit on your porch. Let the light hit your eyes, no sunglasses, for at least 10 minutes. Eat at the right time. Late-night meals, especially carb-heavy ones, raise blood sugar and inflammation, both of which disrupt deep sleep. Aim to finish dinner at least 3 hours before bedtime. Watch the alcohol and sleep aid trap. Many seniors drink wine or take sleeping pills to knock out. But both sedate you without giving real restorative sleep. Worse, they suppress REM and slow-wave cycles, the exact stages that protect your memory. If you're struggling with falling asleep, consider natural alternatives like magnesium glycinate, valerian root tea, or simply a warm bath with Epsom salt. Strengthen your daytime energy. Walk daily. Move your body. Stay socially engaged. Studies show that seniors who engage in daily light activity sleep deeper and longer. Physical exertion, even light gardening, helps burn cortisol and promote natural melatonin release. Now here's something surprising from Harvard's Aging Brain Institute. They found that seniors who nap during the day, but sleep poorly at night have twice the rate of cognitive decline over a 5-year span. What's the lesson? Naps should be intentional, not accidental. If you must nap, keep it under 30 minutes and never after 3 p.m. And most of all, be mindful of your mindset toward sleep. Many older adults begin to dread bedtime. They lie down already anxious, already defeated. They tell themselves, "I won't sleep anyway." And guess what? The brain listens. But when you shift to curiosity, to trust, to even a little self-compassion, things change. If you wake at 2 a.m., don't panic. Don't scroll. Don't pace. Instead, sit up. Take a deep breath. Touch your heart. Whisper something kind. I'm safe. My brain is resting, even if I'm awake. This moment will pass. Because it will. You don't need 8 perfect hours every night. You need a pattern of care, a rhythm of rest, and a relationship with sleep that's rooted in trust, not fear. And if you're someone with a family history of dementia, this becomes even more powerful. Because Alzheimer's isn't just about genes. It's about how those genes interact with your choices, your environment, your routines. And sleep? It's one of the only things that turns off the damage or speeds it up. You have more power than you think. Now, before we close, here's one final tip, one that's easy to overlook but incredibly effective. Use your evenings as a time to let go, not to plan. So many seniors lie in bed thinking, what do I have to do tomorrow? Did I forget anything today? What if I can't sleep again tonight? This puts your brain into task mode, not sleep mode. Instead, create a letting go routine. Write down anything unfinished. Then close the notebook and say, that's tomorrow's problem. End the day with a release, not a checklist. It might be a prayer, a quote, a short breathing practice, or a few seconds of gratitude. This turns your brain away from fear and toward healing. So tonight, when you lie down, don't fight sleep. Invite it. Don't dread the silence. Let it hold you. And if you wake up in the middle of the night, remember, this isn't failure. It's just a moment. A breath. A pause in your rhythm. Your brain knows the way home. You just have to follow it. And when you do, night after night, you give yourself a gift greater than memory, greater than rest. You give yourself presence. You give yourself time. You give yourself tomorrow. If this message helped you or someone you love, please like this video and subscribe. It helps us reach more seniors who are looking for real answers and reflections from those who've walked this road before. Tell me in the comments, where are you watching from today? And how's your sleep lately? Let's keep sharing, keep learning, and keep honoring the power of elderly wisdom, senior health, and the simple habits that protect what matters most. Sleep well tonight. You've earned it.